in March of 2024. Nicholas Goody stopped having home internet. However, he had recorded many videos with the intention of releasing later on. This is one of those videos.
But, yeah. Yeah, so, I would like to elaborate and review these, like, every Goosebumps episode. I know that there was actually a white lady that already did that on YouTube who was like, but I have a different perspective because I wasn't the proper age for Goosebumps in the 90s. I was a baby, like, watching it, and these are, like, formed my earliest memories, so it may look like a cheesy, hokey show now, because it is, but it just hits different to me because I had been watching it literally my whole life. It took me from 1998 to like 2012, I think, to actually finish the show because, again, it was so sporadically unavailable. Only some tapes and DVDs came out here in America with the episodes, and they weren't every episode, of course. I got to watch it a little bit on Cartoon Network later on, but that was, and it wasn't until Netflix that I was finally able to watch it all, so... I'd like to say that I don't care if someone else has reviewed it. I think that my perspective is different enough from that woman to warrant me also going like, hey guys, I'm going to review every Goosebumps episode because I fucking love Goosebumps. And then I could also make my rant about the new Goosebumps show because I don't like the way it exists.
Is it a new Goosebumps show?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus and Hulu. Like it's got Justin Long in it. I think he's R.L. Stine. I'm not sure. And the reason why I'm not gonna watch it, Nitro, is like already like what's like sold me from not wanting to watch it is that it's not like the old show or even the Haunting Hour, which was also R.L. Stine, which is also really fucking good. It's a fucking, everything wants to be a cinematic universe. Everything has to be contained now and have, like, continuity. Yeah. This Goosebumps show has main characters and, like, a consistent cast. As opposed to
but that doesn't make sense because these are just, like, these are just stories.
Well, these are, what I liked about Goosebumps was that it was one-off stories. The only time that there were sequels was if it was, like, Night of the Living Dummy 2 or 3 or The Haunted Mask 2. And then you were fucking hyped because it was special that they were continuing a story because they didn't always do that, And
they never like went on like maybe I don't think they even was like a part 4. I think it was only like 1, 2, and maybe 3 if it was that good.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's just I wait again, how long it took me to watch Goosebumps basically my whole life. And then I waited my whole life for more because I loved it. When I finished it all, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I finally achieved this. But there's so many books that they did not get to adapt that I wish they had. Like how they never did Night of the Living Dummy 1. And I'm like, God damn it, I would have loved to have seen that because that one has Slappy's brother. I'm like, Slappy has a brother? That's fucking crazy.
They didn't do that for the show?
No. For the original Goosebumps, they did not. They adapted Part 2, Night of the Living Dummy 2, 3, and Bride of the Living Dummy, but not the first one. They skipped the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, they just thought it wouldn't be a good episode, but it's like, no, you could still make it different. Like, it's fine. Like, there's a lot of differences between the books and episodes anyway. Like, may as well. But, so yeah,
Too bad Netflix is lame. Netflix, I checked recently. All the episodes on Netflix are gone.
Yeah.
The only thing that they have on Netflix right now are the specials.
Yeah, I remember
which are like the good episodes, but
yeah, those are the best, some of the best ones, and they were the ones that were like released on tape first. So like the first Goosebumps I ever saw was because again I did see an old Bride of the Living Dummy and an old story tape. But I didn't own it, like I was saying, at the Blockbuster. But the first one I did get to rent from the Blockbuster, and then I loved it so much I owned it later, was The Haunted Mask. I saw the very first episode of Goosebumps, thankfully. That was my introduction, and it's really good. But, yeah, so I want to cover Goosebumps stuff more because it means a lot to me. And, again, I'm disappointed with the way that they chose to do the new show, because to me that's not Goosebumps. Like that could just be anything. That could basically just be Stranger Things or some shit. And that's the other thing too, is I believe it's set in modern day, so it's like, well, why don't I just watch the Jack Black Goosebumps movies then? What's the point of this shit?
Yeah, like Jack Black Goosebumps movies are kind of funny though.
Yeah, they were funny. I didn't mind them, because I was like, you know what, this is just a treat to see that this like even come out, you know, at all. But then like with the new like Disney Plus Hulu show, I'm just like, God damn it. And yeah, all I wanted was them to be like, hey, let's adapt the books that never got adaptations into episodes, and maybe just as a cute like wink to the audience, sometimes get like, because they're Disney and stuff, they Hulu, they have the money. Just be like, fucking, let's have some cameos from some of the original Goosebumps actors that are famous now. Like, have a fucking like cameo from like Ryan Gosling because he was in Say She's and Die, or Hayden Christensen because he was in Night of the Living Dummy 3. Like, why not just do shit like that?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
could.
yeah, and I just feel blueballed because I'll elaborate on it in the future. I'll say this, I'll reiterate all this again, but I just want to say it for your sake so you can hear. I feel fucking blueballed because they've almost made exactly what I wanted and then they fuck it up. Like, for example, The Haunting Hour of the series is fucking amazing. It is good. It is an anthology just by R.L. Stine as well. Just like Goosebumps, the TV show was. Just in the modern day, the modern day of 2009, 2010, you know what I mean? Like, at that, it's more modern than the original Goosebumps, but it's old now. But, like, the episodes of that were fucking good. They were a little bit scarier than Goosebumps, but they were still good for kids, you know? So, like, that, I wouldn't mind showing you that. That's fucking awesome. But, like, I love that, but I was just like, okay, could we get, like, this production for Goosebumps? And no, we didn't. And then there was a movie based on R.L. Stine's Fear Street called Fear Street 1994. It was R-rated, so it was like there's a lot more cussing and stuff, and it was like kind of gross. I didn't actually like it. But what I did like was that they set it in 1994, and it looked and sounded like it was set in 1994 properly. They didn't use any modern slang or anything. They were dressed right, so that meant. So I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude! If they could do this to this R.L. Stine book, maybe they could do this to Goosebumps as well, and have a 90s thing. So I never got what all I wanted was them to combine the 90s aesthetic of Fear Street 94 with the anthology quality, the quality of Haunting Hour, the show, the series. That's all they had to do. They literally made the Nitro separately. They made the two things I wanted for Goosebumps TV show revival, but they never put them together to make the perfect Goosebumps. And I'm like, it's staring you right there in the face. This is like what it feels like to be a Sonic fan, where it's so obvious how to make Sonic good, and then the Sega's like, you mean make it 3D and shitty? Everybody talks, there's too many Sonic characters, it's annoying. It's like, no, nigga, you know, like, you get mad. And that's how I feel about Goosebumps, because Goosebumps has been mishandled so much. Like, you had Fear Street, and you had Fear Street 94, and you had Haunting Hour, like, just combine that, and then boom, you got Goosebumps, exactly what I want. You'd be like, oh yeah, it's set in the 90s, so that way we don't have to update the book dialogue. Just leave it alone. It'd be like, instead of like, oh, he pulled out his phone and started blaring Spotify, just be like, he pulled out his Walkman and started like, or his boombox and like pulled out, you know, he blared a song. Like, that's it. That's all you gotta do. It, like, you don't even have to...
that's all you gotta do.
Yeah, and it's not like they're poor. Fucking, this is a Disney production, the Goosebumps show that exists right now. So it's like, in association with Sony. Sony and Disney have fucking money, Nitro. Like, they can afford to make Goosebumps, like, good.
I mean, I guess if they want to, like, target kids, they could still do that. They just have to, like... those books are still popular. Like,
oh yeah, no, not only that.
I'm pretty sure, like,
they before Harry Potter, Goosebumps was the OG best-selling book for kids.
Yeah, so it's even like, even if you want to like reamp the show to make it more modern, which it doesn't need to be, you would just have to change the time period just by a bit, so where phones and stuff makes sense, but the story and like the original message still holds strong.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid in grade school, in elementary school, 2003, they started reissuing Goosebumps books because like it had been like kind of dormant for a while because like Goosebumps ended, the original run of Goosebumps ended in like 2000 or 1999 or something like that. But then in 2003, they brought it back, and all they did when they reprinted them, they even used the same exact Tim Jacobus art. They didn't change anything. Like, kids back then, like kids like us in me and my like friends and stuff in the 2000s reading Goosebumps at the library at school, we'd be like, okay, we know this is old, we don't give a shit, like it's fine. Like, and the kids nowadays, they know things are old, they know what a floppy disk is and stuff. Like they don't know everything about the past, but they know enough about the past to be intrigued by it, to where like you could do that as a selling point and be like, oh, if you like Stranger Things of the 80s, you'll like Goosebumps the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's like a good point, because like Stranger Things does take place in the 80s, and that was a big hit with not only adults but kids too, because they did it well.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
people were like, "Oh shit, the 80s are cool." Like, why can't Goosebumps do that with the 90s? The 90s were fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like I said, like Fear Street 94 looked perfect. I don't like the movie itself. Like the characters are assholes. The black guy, like kid, he's cool. I like him, but everyone else was like a dickhole. But like the setting was nailed. The dialogue, even the music choices. Like the soundtrack was all music from that time period, and it was like a good variety of stuff. Like they were all bangers, and it was awesome. They're all jams. Like it was really good. And it's like, okay, do that for a Goosebumps show. Do that right now as a Goosebumps show set in like 1994 or whatever, or 95 when the show was running. And, use copyrighted music, because that was one thing they couldn't do on the original show because of budget stuff, because they didn't have as much money then versus now. But, like, yeah, do something like that, and kids will eat that up. They'll be like, oh, this is cool. And their parents will be like, oh, shit, Goosebumps, I want to watch that with you. Like, again, Goosebumps, the books... they didn't change the books until 2018. Like, the dialogue was the same for literally, like, 20-something years. Goosebumps is from 92. Originally, the book is from 92, the series. So, almost 30 years, Nitro, the books had the exact same dialogue. And that never stopped children from loving it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see no reason to not...
Make sense.
Yeah, like, to not just set it in the past. Because, again... having cell phones on, because you have to write around I don't know, an EMP happened or the Wi-Fi is down. Like, you have to write around it as opposed to just it being naturally, shit, I gotta run. I don't have, like, there's no phone, just run. Yeah, so basically, this turned out a little bit longer than I meant to, but I just wanted to talk about Goosebumps because it means a lot to me. Like I said, it's one of my earliest memories, up there with, like, other Fox Kids things like the X-Men cartoon, the Batman cartoon, Power Rangers, Digimon, not as much, but I still have fond memories of that. But anyway, thank you, Nitro, for joining me. I will, in the future, cover Goosebumps more, probably, because I kind of abandoned spooky stuff for, like, over a year, and I want to relaunch it as, like, not just, like, reading creepypastas and stuff, but, like, again, focusing on things like Goosebumps. Like, I feel like that would be a great way to bring that back for the 1 or 2 people that actually give a shit about that. 'Cause I have a bunch of subscribers now that probably don't give a flying fuck about spooky stuff, but I do.
Yeah, it's just... It's for the people who care.
Yeah, so this ended up being a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'll just put some music over it, it'll be fine.
Soy Nicolás Cuni. Suscríbete o te pondrás negro.